Day 11 in the month of October, studying from the book of Proverbs, chapter 11 verse 1 to 31, New King James Version. Introduction. Proverbs 11 is a chapter that contrasts the ways of righteousness with the path of wickedness. Each verse in this chapter reveals God's perspective on how we should live, treat others, and conduct ourselves in the world. It warns against pride, dishonesty, and wickedness while promoting virtues such as humility, integrity, and generosity. As we go through these verses, we are encouraged to reflect on our own lives and align our actions with God's wisdom. Verse 1. Dishonest scales are an abomination to the Lord, but a just weight is his delight. This verse emphasizes the importance of honesty in all our dealings, particularly in business and trade. Dishonesty, such as using false measures or cheating others, is detestable to God. Fairness and integrity, however, please him. God values truth and fairness in every aspect of life, whether in our relationships, work, or daily interactions. Reflection. Are we being truthful in our dealings with others, or are there areas where we fall into dishonesty? Verse 2. When pride comes, then comes shame. But with the humble is wisdom. Pride often leads to disgrace, as it causes us to elevate ourselves above others and even above God. On the contrary, humility brings wisdom because it involves acknowledging our limitations and our need for God's guidance. Reflection. Do we walk in humility, seeking wisdom from God, or do we allow pride to lead our actions? Verse 3. The integrity of the upright will guide them, but the perversity of the unfaithful will destroy them. Living a life of integrity, being upright and honest, brings guidance and direction from God. However, those who are deceitful and unfaithful will ultimately face destruction. Integrity leads to stability, while deceit brings confusion and downfall. Reflection. Are we guided by integrity in our decisions, or do we sometimes compromise for personal gain? Verse 4. Riches do not profit in the day of wrath, but righteousness delivers from death. No amount of wealth can protect a person from God's judgment. When facing God's wrath, riches are powerless. It is righteousness, living according to God's will, that saves us and delivers us from eternal death. Reflection. Do we place more value on material wealth than on living a righteous life before God? Verse 5 to 6. The righteousness of the blameless will direct his way aright, but the wicked will fall by his own wickedness. The righteousness of the upright will deliver them, but the unfaithful will be caught by their lust. Righteousness serves as a guide to direct our paths in the right way. Wickedness, however, leads to one's own downfall, while the righteous are saved by their integrity. The wicked are ensnared by their sinful desires. Reflection. How do we let righteousness direct our actions? Are there sinful desires we need to guard against? Verse 7 to 8. When a wicked man dies, his expectation will perish, and the hope of the unjust perishes. The righteous is delivered from trouble, and it comes to the wicked instead. The hope and desires of the wicked are fleeting. They vanish with death. In contrast, the righteous are saved from trouble, and the very trouble that the wicked seek to avoid often falls upon them. Reflection. Are we living with eternal hope, or are our expectations grounded in fleeting, worldly desires? Verse 9. The hypocrite with his mouth destroys his neighbor, but through knowledge the righteous will be delivered. Words can be powerful tools of destruction. A hypocrite who speaks falsely harms others with their deceit. On the other hand, the righteous, through knowledge and truth, find deliverance. Reflection. Do we use our words to build up others, or do we cause harm through gossip or deceit? Verse 10-11. When it goes well with the righteous, the city rejoices, and when the wicked perish, there is jubilation. By the blessing of the upright the city is exalted, but it is overthrown by the mouth of the wicked. Righteousness doesn't just bless individuals, it brings prosperity and peace to entire communities. When righteous leaders prevail, people rejoice, but wickedness brings destruction to society. Reflection. How does our personal righteousness influence those around us? Do we uplift our community? Verse 12-13. He who is devoid of wisdom despises his neighbor, but a man of understanding holds his peace. A talebearer reveals secrets, but he who is of a faithful spirit conceals a matter. Wisdom leads us to respect others and remain silent rather than despising or gossiping about them. A wise person knows the value of discretion and does not expose the faults of others. Reflection. Are we quick to speak negatively about others, or do we practice restraint and show love by protecting others' reputations? Verse 14 to 15. Where there is no counsel, the people fall, but in the multitude of counselors, there is safety. He who is surety for a stranger will suffer, but one who hates being surety is secure. This highlights the value of wise counsel and the dangers of making reckless financial decisions. Taking advice from others provides safety, while making impulsive decisions, like guaranteeing a loan for a stranger, brings trouble. Reflection. Do we seek wise counsel before making decisions? Or do we act impulsively? Conclusion. Proverbs 11 provides clear guidelines for living a life of righteousness and wisdom. It contrasts the consequences of wickedness and righteousness, urging us to walk with integrity, humility, and generosity. As we reflect on each verse, we are called to evaluate our actions, align ourselves with God's will, and trust in His ultimate justice. Application questions. 1. What areas in your life need more integrity? 2. How can you practice humility in your daily interactions? 3. Are you seeking wisdom from God and from others? Or are you relying on your own understanding? May the good Lord bless His word in our hearts and help us to live according to His will. In Jesus' mighty name, Amen. Kindly subscribe and turn on post notification for more prayers and Bible studies. God bless you.